Chris, the self-proclaimed Pirate King.
Yep.
Although if you're attacking against Chris's list, who's your first target? It kind of depends on how you fly.
It depends who gets there first, I think.
I would be entirely tempted to... it's kind of a race. You've got to deal with the Asajj Ventress and her stress before she starts piling too many on you.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, like, Dengar can just put in a lot of hurt.
Yeah, they've both got a lot of firepower and survivability.
If you can avoid Dengar's fire arc, take the shots on Dengar and take him out. But you kind of got to pile all in on one and take that one ship out as fast as possible.
And it's
you
also,
can't split your fire.
And it's also depending on who gets the initiative in this. I'm not necessarily 100% sure who has the initiative, but by the looks of that, the 5th asteroid has been placed by Chris, which would assume he actually has got initiative as well. It's going to be interesting because...
Given that he's using Push the Limit on Fen, I would go as far as to say take out Asajj first.
Yes.
Because Fenrau, once he's already got a stress, you don't want more.
No.
And Asajj has got those Black Market Slicer tools, which can just be the bane of a Protectorate's life.
But then you have the issue of not taking stress or being dealt stress.
But then you've got R5P8 in the late game, which you don't want to be firing at an R5P8 last, because that can just chip you to death.
I don't know where I would go. They're both really tanky. They're both got a lot of...
Fenrau can stand to duel with Dengar in effect, with old Terok next to him. You'll have no focus tokens on Dengar.
that is something to consider as well. There's going to have no focus tokens, and
the title comes into play. At which point,
I would then favour Fenrau any day. Not having the ability to have any focuses or any evades. It's
going to be interesting. I do feel that Asajj has to die fast, because those slicer tools are just going to destroy the Protectorate Starfighters. But Dengar is an entity unto himself. I've flown so many different variations of Dengar. He's always scary, but he has his weaknesses. Like, you pile up on him and you allow one ship to take the shot that's going to be able to tank that extra shot, and that's where you win against Dengar.
That is where you win against Dengar. It's getting that firepower through. I mentioned, because we had a stream last week, which we were looking at a year in review. Me, Elliot, and Chelsea did that one, where we mentioned about the World Finals.
Yeah,
and that was Jan Torf's coming up on top on that time with Dengar and Manaru, but not Dengar Manaru as we know that to normally be.
I was watching the World stream, and one of the Dengaru lists, I don't think it was in the finals, it might have been the semis, but one of the Dengaru lists, the game should have been very different. The judges and the players both missed, where on one turn the Manaru used a feedback array, and at the end of the turn,
I remember you telling me about this actually.
He cleaned up his ion token, which meant that he could do the feedback array without taking the ion move the turn after, because that ion move would have taken him off the table.
But going up against Jan was a Corran Horn around a Donny list.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was nice to see Corran Horn being used. I can't remember the last time.
He's fairly standard for Richard. He likes to deploy in one way and then
move in the other.
Skirt around to force you to engage him where he wants you.
Yeah, no, that is the thing about this list with Richard. He acknowledges how, like I've done before, acknowledges the, I say the weakness of the Hawk in terms of,
Well, with Opportunist, that Hawk could do a lot of damage in itself. He's just got to watch out for the range 1 because there's going to be too many dice for a Hawk at that point.
I was just going to say I have missed something on this Palob. It is actually the Mouldy Crow Palob, which the Mouldy Crow means that he gets to keep all the focuses that are unspent at the end of the round. Because the way the overlay is, I won't tinker with what's in there, but you can see it's the Mouldy Crow.
Yes, Corran Horn is very expensive as a ship.
Yeah, and I see it like a Rebel Defender in terms of its stat line. It's very similar in that regard.
I see it more as Corran Horn is the small ship you take when you don't want to take a big ship. Because he takes up about the same number of points, and you have to be very good at flying him though, because one mistake with Corran Horn and you suffer, because Corran Horn is not forgiving, whereas a Millennium Falcon or a Outrider, it's just so much more forgiving. Whereas, like, you spend those points on taking a Corran Horn, and you have more damage output with potential to regen, but you suffer because your dial isn't as good and you don't have as many hit points to just tank a hit.
I've slightly modified the start time on this. I'm not exactly 100% sure of the time we actually got things underway, but it's close enough. We had a couple of turns of fast fire movement and deployment.
I don't think we're going to see any...
I don't think this is going to go to time regardless. I think
it will be a very quick die in a blaze of glory for either side.
Yeah, and I think this is the thing, is it's scary that there is this possibility that if one of them rolls badly, that could be a very, very quick turning point, a very quick conclusion of the game.
I've played against Richard's list a number of times. He's very adept at using this particular list. I'm yet to lose against it, but then I have a lot of unpredictable movements and token stacking where I won't get Alterok into my fire arc because I don't want to lose my tokens, and Palob only gets to take one focus, where the build I've been using recently, I stack up 2 or 3 focus in a turn.
I've played against Palob a few times myself. He was involved in the game I had in the Hangar Bay tournament that was on the stream.
Yeah.
With the Atari Mind Link shenanigans, which was horrible. It was a horrible.
Atari Mind Link with Palob, Manaru,
and it was Guri.
Tokens everywhere all the time. I think I played against it in round 3 of Escalation. Palob, Manaru, Asajj. And I think it worked out that for one focus action between the Atani Mind Link Manaru and I had the Z95 that can take focus and evades from people as well. He was, for one focus action on a single ship, he was ending up with 5 focus tokens on the board.
Yeah.
Because of the way Manaru moves them around, and it just got silly.
And now you see, this is where Chris has got his issue. Does he go for a target? What action does he go for? Does he go for a target lock? Does he go for a focus, which he knows may get discarded or taken?
The push the limit here is... there's the target lock. I think he's betting on not having
the focus.
Range 2 of Palob there.
Okay. But there's still the issue of if Old Turok has Arc, and I'm pretty sure there would be a bank move here, or...
Old Turok is if he is in your fire arc, not if you're in his.
Okay.
And he has to be range 1.
For me, that still seemed like a valid possibility, so...
He could just straight up lose that focus token, which is not going to be fun for him.
But he's then going to reroll anything that's not a hit on his attack. So
I'm be interested to find out which direction his mobile firing arc is, but I'm sure we'll find that out fairly soon.
Yeah, when stress gets applied around the board, that's kind of going to be...
If Chris remembers, I've noticed that Chris forgets Asage's trigger a lot.
That can't go that way, Chris, because it's now the asteroid, but he's now moved it back to the other side of the asteroid. I've put the ID markers out here, but I haven't assigned them to a ship yet because we haven't seen... Because they both move... both Fenran and Alterok both move at 9. They'll move at effectively the same time, but we'll only see when the focus from... Or if, I should say, from Asajj Ventress gets stolen.
I think we'll see a boost come from that. Yeah. Make sure you get the range 1. Because if that's Fenrir or Alterok, they're both bonus. They both benefit from that.
Oh yeah.
Again, I think we'll see a boost here.
Just to make sure the arc still is there. And if this is Fenrir, we'll be able to find out from the push the limit action. But then do you risk it? Yes, here we go. So this means that...
The one on the outside is Fenrir.
Yeah. I do love these ships. Most of the ships on the board, so you take the Lancers and the 2 Protectorates are actually from Rebels, which is a series that I must admit I've been picking up again. And it's nice to see them come into the game, like the Ghost, for example.
Dengar on to Alterok.
With 3 dice.
Range 3.
They're blanks, aren't they, Mr. Turner? So you've only got the 1.
Also thrusters, yeah. There was no way that was hitting.
So...
At which point, we could see a very hurt Asajj this turn. Because Asajj, it looks like she didn't apply stress to anyone.
That's 2 hits. Is it to the start of the combat phase trigger, is it?
Yes. That looks like...
One evade or a focus?
Yeah, that was Alterok shooting.
That looks to be 2 shields have now just popped off.
And then here we come. Fenrir doing Fenrir things. Not as well as he normally does.
So that's shields gone? Or was that evaded?
1 shield.
Only the 1? That seems incredibly low.
Maybe he's been very lucky on dice.
I didn't see what came off Chris's side.
So there's the title, plus the 3.
One
crit
critical
coming through to...
Don't know what that is, but we know it's done some hurt. Obviously not 100% sure if obviously that's a direct hit, but turn those off. That's an interesting opening exchange. I'd still say at this present point in time...
That was on Alterok, not Fenrir.
Oh.
Because Fenrir would have rolled an extra evade dice.
Yes, because of being Fenrir. Yeah. Good point.
Unless they've forgotten triggers, but Richard uses this list so much, I don't think he'd miss that trigger.
No, that is... When you play a list enough, you start to understand the triggers, and like for example, you take me when I play Kane and Jarrus now. When I first started playing him, I didn't sort of understand how the dial worked, how to get the most out of him, because his ability is very, very defensive in terms of spending the focus to make less dice come in on the attacks. But still, it's just nice. It's just nice how that works.
You see the barrel roll from those vectored thrusters.
So the vectored thrusters, I think, is a nice addition for it. It gets him into where he wants to be.
It gives him range control, which with the Hawk you very much want. and being able to barrel roll into that range 2 to make sure Palob gets to steal a focus. It just fits.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting situation for Dengar. If Dengar moves and then... So he's using his action of the gyroscopic targeting to move.
It's not actually an action, that's after the combat phase.
Oh, no, he's not. He's doing the rig cargo shoot.
Oh, okay, so he's dropping debris.
And hitting both?
No, that would only hit Terok. That wouldn't hit both because of where it's placed.
Yeah. But still, at least he's got his effect on there.
It means that depending on where the front of that base is, we could see 2 stress going on there anyway.
Yeah, because the movement will take it through the other side.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a very nice placement. Is that a hit as well? I don't know how the rig cargo shoot really works.
It's a debris cloud, so it only
counts
counts
critical
damage.
Okay.
But you take the stress. You take all of the effects for landing or traveling over debris.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That could really hurt Ultrarok.
I don't know how much it will...
Here we go.
That's nasty. That's onto the rock because Palob bumped. At which point, this turn, if Richard has done what I think he's done, it's turned... Oh, no, he hasn't. I thought he was going to turn into the Dengar.
I think he might have realised there might have been a potential rig cargo shoot and then just wanted to go...
They have a 2 hard.
Okay.
It's green.
There could also be the issue here as well.
They could have gone round it, gone straight at the Dengar, and this turn, Dengar being on the rock, would have just been...
Well, Richard has predicted this, because you could have banked with Fenrau. If it was me, I'd actually try and boost... Well, you can't boost round, can you? You can't get the bank boost. I'm trying to think to try and get Arc, because you've got no hurt coming from Dengar anyway. He's on an asteroid. He can't then use his ability.
No, which is why I was saying about if Richard had have turned in for the fight this turn, Dengar being on the rock, that would have just been 3 shots.
And now he's got nothing. He's not got a shot. He's got a shot coming back from Ashar's Ventress. Yeah, it's a surprise. Richard did all the hard work setting up, but then didn't follow up.
He hasn't capitalised on it.
No.
I think we're going to see... Yeah, we're not going to see an opportunist because the stress... But
is there? Hang on. Range band 2. He hasn't got a focus or evade because he did his...
Yeah, you can't opportunist if you already have stress, so he can't...
No, he doesn't. He's now doing it now. He's doing it now, which is why he's just applied the stress.
Is Asajj not shooting this turn then?
That is a very good point.
Maybe her arc wasn't turned.
And if it's not
that
inside
looks like
the
a crit onto Asajj.
So we have lost...
I see a lot of text on there. So that's...
Okay.
We must have miscounted the damage coming in last turn.
Well, that's kind of opened the game up a bit more as well. You've got all the shields gone now on Asajj Ventress. And there's no damage going through. Shots have been fired, I think, is...
Yes. So now we just need that hole to go...
We're gonna assume that at the moment there is no direct hits in there because we haven't been able to see.
We can see the 1 damage card, so we'll go that way. And there was a lot of text on that card. It's not
a direct hit, no.
Right. Okay. So the game could be on. I apologise for not being quite as in this game as I was the last one. Starting to feel a little bit tired from lack of sleep.
Okay. But I think to be fair, this game is where it's now going to get interesting because as there is damage on both sides and quite a lot,
There's
already
very
into Sarge
little
Ventress.
damage on the Fenrir side, on the Protectorate.
Oh, yeah.
You've got one hull damage on the old Terok. He's basically a TIE Interceptor at this point.
We wonder how they do.
Yeah. He's lost that hull, but he's still got 3.
Yeah. And with Asajj taking damage like that, that's kind of like brought it back into the Chris having more hull to start off with.
It's like I'd said earlier, it's kind of, you have to gun them down fast. Against Dengar Asajj, it's a race. You have to kill them before they can do enough to kill
it was
you.
an action, so he can damage sensor array or something like that, or obviously something that would have crippled him going further on.
You've got to take them out faster than they can do damage. In the same way that when flying against a decimator, you take it off the table before it does the damage it needs to.
Yeah, and that is the really hard thing. You need to get that damage in early, get it in hard. That the ships that you're firing against can't survive long enough to make that damage return. Oh, hello!
Interesting move there. We have. Well, the Palob just went straight bump into Dengar, forcing Dengar to turn away from him, which means Palob is free to opportunist him at his own will.
Oh, because he just did a green maneuver. Okay, so what did Palob do? Did he do just a green?
Just a green white green into Dengar and didn't move.
But he's still got a focus there from Moldy Crow sitting there, obviously.
Yeah.
I do like Dengar. Dengar's really helpful.
Yes.
It kind of like says, being able to re-roll dice against named pilots is like effectively having a Predator version, but for named pilots. But without having
if we will see a barrel roll. No, we'll see the focus. He just wants to defend this turn. He doesn't need the shot.
No.
He's got the opportunist shot onto Dengar if he needs it.
And it's out of arc, so there's no double tapping involved here as well.
I was wondering if we'd see the barrel roll backwards from Fenrir there, which would have given him the arc to fire at Dengar, but then would have given Dengar the option to fire back.
Yeah, no, that is something that is worth considering when you were taking on the likes of Dengar, thinking about how you can mitigate his ability in a way. So that's
Predator into 3 plus auto thrusters.
No, that was a target lock. He has pushed the limit. Remember?
Oh, okay.
I don't think that worked really well for Richard. He's taken some damage here.
He's taken one hit onto what looks like a
Alter Rock.
Looks like the Fenrir might have taken a hit actually, but Richard's not putting the cards up, and we haven't had them showing us who's shooting what.
Yeah.
If he tries to apply the stress here, he's doing it at the wrong time. I get that it's a friendly game just before Christmas, but he shouldn't be applying that trigger now.
Because this is now the point where it gets interesting. Opportunist is now not on.
Also, tactician should be after the shot.
Okay.
Not before. Again, although Chris plays a lot of scum, he does a lot of things at the wrong timing. And timing windows are very important since the early June FAQ.
Yes, that was a... things are going a little bit all over the place. I do apologise. I'm just trying to get the markers in the right place. So this is the thing about the
blanked out. That's 2 hits onto Dengar, I believe. Go on, taking that shield away from the Moldy Crow though.
Hang on a minute. Doesn't R5P8 have to be an arc?
No.
Okay.
Just when you're shot at.
I was just trying to make sure because I couldn't remember if there was something about arcs because obviously I know his abilities about arcs. So that was a couple of hits onto Dengar, correct?
One shield off of Dengar, and the shield lost from Palob. My guess would be that we'll see a bank to the right out of Palob here, just sweeping round while the protectorates come in towards the hawk.
Yeah, messed this up again. Since I've done this, actually, there's a new mouse that we're using here, which makes it a little bit quieter for you guys in terms of the clicking, but I've kind of not got used to it yet, so.
Right, dials are in place. Let's see what happens. There you go. Bank to the right. Relieve that stress. Take a focus. Palob's done his job at that point.
Yeah, he's just trying to get out there now. Really, I think.
Asajj could come round very fast, but I don't think Asajj is really going to be the death of the hawk. I think that's going to be Dengar.
Yeah. That is a big 3 hard manoeuvre, though.
Yeah, well, that's one thing that a lot of people... Although everyone noticed it when the dial was spoiled, a lot of people don't utilise it. The Shadowcaster is such a fast ship.
Oh, yeah. A large ship with the capacity of taking a 3 hard, for example, that is huge.
It has a 5 forwards. I play...
Kane, also the Ghosts have the 5k turn. So
I've played Asajj Ventress with an engine upgrade push the limit.
That sounds monstrous in terms of the mileage you can...
5 forward, green manoeuvre.
Oh, and it's green as well?
I believe so.
Oh dear, that's huge. Hang on a minute, let's see where this is going.
That's boosting round to try and get past.
I wouldn't have done that because Dengar...
I can see why he's done it.
But Dengar
why
moves...
he's trying to.
But Dengar moves after... Oh, because his ult... It's actually ult to rock, so you're going to try and hope that Chris has gone slow and try and token steal.
Yeah, he's trying to get the arc. He's trying to get into Dengar's arc, which is a scary place to be. But I don't think Dengar's going to be doing anything less than a 2 hard.
Yeah.
I think Fenrau might be in Dengar's face, but
at this point you're kind of like trading. Oh, because Chris has initiative. He should have moved first. This could make a difference.
Yes.
This is the thing, though. Chris knows his dial now.
Yeah,
he could barrel roll straight across it.
Barrel roll and just con the... Yeah. But then it means that neither of them are getting shots.
No, because there's at least going to be a shot that's coming...
If he barrel rolls to force the bump.
But there's still going to be a shot from the 360 turret of Dengar onto...
If he'd have bumped, there wouldn't have been.
But honestly,
which is why the barrel roll is not something that you do. But here we go, barrel roll to get out of the range 1 of Alterok. Of Fenrau, sorry. I mean...
It doesn't matter, he can still boost round anyway.
Fenrau could... don't even need to boost here. He could just barrel roll it, get range 1...
Ooh, he will need to barrel roll now.
Yeah, he's going to have to. It's his only option to get that. But then won't be in Dengar's arc. He's just gone for...
Oh, hang on. They're trying to look for that shot. It is just outside. Chris is using his laser. That's a shame.
He's just gone for the defensive, keep the auto thrusters up. I think the barrel roll would have been better.
Yeah, I think...
I don't think the boost was needed there.
No.
The barrel roll would have got you into range 1, you'd have got a fire arc.
And a focus.
You'd have had auto thrusters up.
Range 1, focus, everything that...
I think the boost was just the wrong action there.
I think at this point, getting a bit of punishment in on Dengar would have been helpful. Just getting that damage.
You'd
damage
have
through.
had five attack dice going in, 4 defense dice coming back with auto thrusters, focus. You'd have been golden, really. But using that boost, he's lost his fire arc. He's just getting shot at.
Yeah. I still like what's going on here. It's going to still be a tight game. I can still see this going on. Hang on, there's quite a lot of
auto thrusters, focus. There we go. 4 evades.
I think the next sentiment is Fenrow.
But if he'd have done that while getting the shot, he could have punished Dengar.
He could have punished the punishing one.
He's played safe, but he wouldn't have been shot back.
He's been playing, I think, too safe. The only thing that you'd have to consider was the R5P8.
Yeah.
That is another critical damage going through to a Sarge Ventress.
Yep. That was from Palob, I believe. It might have been from Old Terok, actually.
Yeah, because Old Terok obviously fires before...
Yeah. There we go. Spend the focus. You have a crit onto the Mouldy Crow.
This is the thing to know, obviously, that... I know what's happened. Richard is using his old deck.
Yes, he's using
the old deck. Is turned the EPT down.
Has it?
If it's turned the EPT down, because effectively there's a critical in that old deck where it affects with the EPT and the discard ability. If that was the case, why didn't Chris barrel rolls?
Ooh, nasty. It's another 2 hits going into a Sarge from Palob. Sarge is hurting.
Richard really is bringing the pain.
He's punishing.
He's bossing this right now.
He's doing what needs to be done and taking out a Sarge as fast as possible before she puts in too much hurt.
Yeah, and it's also to be considered there's a little bit of damage, not much obviously, done to Dengar as well.
Well, the damage to Dengar is kind of negligible at the moment because Gonk's just going to get that shield back whenever he wants.
But it's still within that range of if everything's all lined up, there could be enough dice on the table to take him out in one turn.
I think the play here is turn with Palob, get behind the rock for Dengar, take the shot at a Sarge, hope to survive, and use Old Terok to put the last nail in the coffin.
This is the thing, though, because he's stressed, he can't really do too much. Actually, double stressed. I mean, in terms of your thing about trying to get the movement there.
It wouldn't have mattered. I mean, he's going to end up behind the rock. Dengar's going to have to shoot through the rock to get at him. I was kind of hoping he'd bump there because now Dengar can get a clean shot.
Yeah. But to be fair,
we know Asajj is likely to be moving fairly quickly. Oh no, she's keeping.
Is she going for the block?
I'd be interested to find out if that succeeds. I can see a 2 forwards coming from Old Terok. At which point Old Terok's in a perfect position, just go 4 dice, take you out. That is Fenrow is not in the right position to do that at the moment.
No, but it's still possible to swing
but
that way.
Then if Fenrow chases Dengar while Old Terok kills Asajj, that's kind of done. It's job done.
Yeah, that is a lot of hurt to put through in one turn, but it's still going to be. I still see it's still going to be close. There's still firepower and there's still a lot of hurt left in Dengar.
There's a lot of firepower on the table still. There we go. 2 forwards. It's a shame that has bumped, because if that hadn't have bumped, that could have been a lot of damage needed. I don't know why they're doing it Alterok then Dengar, because Alterok is pilot skill 9.
Maybe they're just getting out of the way because there's no interference. Maybe that's what they're thinking of. But
there we go. Too hard. Round the corner.
He's going to have to barrel roll, or he's going to have to boost the very... I think boost and maybe barrel roll.
If he barrel rolls, he might just be able to avoid that fire arc.
Well, if he barrel rolls from the back edge
if he
and
barrel
then
rolls
boosts
backwards, he's not going to get range 1. Oh, no.
He's just going for it. He's just going straight in.
I think that is Richard's weakness here. He needs to barrel roll out of that fire arc. But Richard loves boosting way too much. He needs to barrel roll more.
Yeah, because if he'd have barrel rolled and boosted...
If he'd have barrel rolled the previous turn, he'd have got a shot. This turn, if he'd have barrel rolled from where he is, he can get out of Dengar's arc, still have a range 1 shot.
And that mitigates
that mitigates the extra shot that Dengar's going to get.
This could be Fenrau down.
Whereas Fenrau could have put some hurt in on Dengar.
Actually, to be fair though, this all happens at the same timing step.
It doesn't matter, because this way, without the barrel roll, Dengar is getting a second shot.
But that is 5 hits. That's huge.
But with the barrel roll, Dengar wouldn't have got the extra shot. That's 2 hits through to the hull of Dengar.
Yeah, that was 5 hits taken with nothing in return.
I mean, now Dengar's going to shoot back, but like I said, the barrel roll could have stopped that extra shot.
Yeah.
That's why Richard's done it. He's done it to get his title.
Yeah, and that
the title bonuses to get the effective 5th evade.
Yeah, and that is probably what's going to be crucial. I think getting that extra. It looks like the whole of that turn.
It's a very different way of flying. I prefer to use the protectorates more to dodge fire arcs rather than putting myself in the danger.
Yeah, this is still changed the complexion of the game as well in terms of the amount of damage output that's come in.
Here we go. That's another. Looks like 2 onto the Mouldy Crow.
No, it's dead.
Yep, that's off the table.
Ouch. That might have swung it, but you've got both of them in a...
They're both in
one shot range.
They're both in 1-shot range. And they're both pilot skill 9, so Asajj is going to be moving first. Alterok only has to chase Asajj at this point, because Fenrau, he might die in the return fire,
but they trigger the same
Fenrau
step.
can just kill Dengar on his own now.
Yeah, if that same volley comes in next turn, it doesn't matter what Chris's dice are to evade with. That's 3 damage.
Yeah.
That's what...
and we can almost guarantee that Dengar is going straight forwards.
Oh, yeah.
Because of where...
so where's Fenrau going to go to get a shot? Because he isn't.
I think Fenrau's going to do possibly a 3 forwards boost round barrel roll.
Okay.
Avoid the fire arc. Get far enough away to guarantee your auto thrusters, even if Chris does turn around with Dengar. The other option is turn hard 2 in with the Fenrau and go in for Asajj. Get that finishing blow on Asajj and just strafe.
Yeah, well, at this point in the game, though, because effectively they're at half points apiece on Dengar and Asajj Ventress as well, Richard has to do nothing. They're both 30 points apiece.
Asajj is going to have to spend an action to move her fire arc this turn.
If Chris can predict where one of those ships is going to be.
I am pretty certain that they're going to be in that sort of... There we go. Moving it to the rear.
I think he's moving it to the right edge.
He might have moved it to the right. Here's push the limit. Probably taking a target lock onto Alterok.
Yeah, because that's the only thing that you can do token-wise that isn't going to get affected by Alterok. In terms of discarding or terms of...
There we go. So...
2 Talon rolls. Nice.
I don't know how that's going to affect it. I'm really,
It gives him a shot.
really unsure about the way they're moving Old Terror before they move Dengar, if Dengar has the initiative here.
Unless there's been a last minute change in terms of the list, but I was informed by Richard a couple of days ago actually that this was going to be VI Old Turok. So they would both all be at Pilot Skill 9.
I would be tempted just to take target lock focus here. You don't need to get into range 1 with Old Terror with Fenrau. I know a lot of people like to, and Richard with his habit. He has a terrible habit of boosting every turn.
I would have barrel rolled first.
He doesn't need
as close as you can and swing round to completely negate Dengar.
I'd have stayed at range 3. I'd have taken target lock focus. You don't need to get into range 1 every turn.
Okay. Well, with 2 lots of firepower, that could completely annihilate.
Well, there's Dengar. Nice dice roll. There's that. That looks like it hurt.
I can't.
I don't think he actually took any damage from that.
No, he didn't draw any cards from the deck. That's for sure.
Range 2, spend a focus. And is that how many damage coming on to?
Ooh, 1 critical with a nice lot of text.
That doesn't look a lot of text. I don't know. I can't see it very well.
It does look quite a lot of text there.
And then we've got Old Terror coming in. We've only got two left on Asajj.
Yeah, I'm going to modify Asajj after this attack. So, just in case there's.
Hello, Chelsea.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what this next attack's going to be.
So that's Asajj onto Terror. That's Old Terror gone.
Okay.
It's been really hard to know what's happening with all this because we haven't seen what each of the crits are.
Could be Pilot Skill 0.
But then
would have moved first.
But then Old Terror should have moved first. At which point, I don't think Asajj would have made it to where she was.
No, I completely agree with that. I think some of this is a bit mystifying. I'm not sure if that's technically.
It's been very confusing from this end to watch, because we don't know what crits have gone through, and we just don't know what's been happening.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. What did we have? We had some shots on Asajj, which is there.
Fenrau still could take this. It's all down to, does Asajj bump this turn? Does Asajj force Fenrau to bump?
Yeah, no, that definitely is something to consider. I
think the damage has been done now.
Yeah, no, I'm just still mystified by the way this whole thing has gone.
Yeah, we've just not been able to tell what has happened.
What's going on? Yeah. I'm not also 110% sure why there was that 3 hard from Chris going that way.
Because you have Asajj can move her fire arc. You fly a bit like a turret ship.
Okay.
You don't have to fly in close. You get a benefit for doing so, but you don't have to do it.
I'm reckoning there's going to be a boost here.
I can probably say we'll see.
I would
take a target lock here, but he's taking focus. I'd take the target lock just to get the range 1 to kill it.
There's the target lock, and Richard has just kind of showed his point there. But that is double blanks.
Is that Asajj dead?
That should be Asajj dead.
Yep.
That is one stroke of luck one way against one stroke of luck the other way.
It paid off, but I think the target lock
is better.
You have to kill Asajj that turn.
Yeah, no. Asajj definitely had to go. That was fact number 1 that had to happen there.
I mean, now you're looking at Fenrau versus a 3-hull Dengar.
Yeah.
There's the potential for a straight up tie because they could
Both
mutual destruction.
simultaneous destruction,
But
which
then
would then end with
mutual destruction, the final salvo rule.
yes.
You've got 7 dice one side, 6 the other.
Yeah. Yeah, because that works off their primaries as well. Yeah, no, that might be where Palom's 1 dice primary comes into effect. But
it's going to take a little while for Dengar and Fenrir
to meet up again,
to find each other.
It's kind of one of those things that both of them actually want to meet each other on their own terms. Dengar wants to meet Fenrir in Ark, where Fenrir doesn't.
Fenrir kind of does at this point.
Gives him the title.
Fenrir wants to get that title, range 1, 5 dice versus 4 plus title. Fenrir has the ability to survive that.
Yeah. We're not sure necessarily if Fenrir has taken damage, or we're presuming probably not. So I think anywhere for Richard here is safe, because
as long as
he'd be
Richard
very unlucky.
As long as Richard can get a shot that is at either range 3 or range 1.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't find himself stuck in range 2 in Ark of Dengar, I think Fenrir's got this.
Yeah, I think he has as well. So as we were also mentioning earlier as well.
The other thing to note is we haven't really seen much use out of Gonk.
No. I haven't seen many times he's used it. There's only 1 shield sitting on Gonk.
But we haven't seen it go onto the hull, onto
Dengar, no. Range 3 shot coming in here.
Range 3 at Alterok. So
4 dice. Auto thrusters. There was plenty fire anyway.
So then we get.
Fen has taken 1.
Thank you.
Okay. And I do believe that's another damage. That's the shield from Gonk was used earlier, and we see a shield.
Yeah.
And Fenrir has just taken another one from the R5P8. That could be the thing that.
So Fenrir has now taken 2 damage.
Yeah. That could be the thing that causes problems for Fenrir.
Yeah.
Is the R5P8.
Yeah, that losing effectively lost half.
We still have the potential for a mutual destruction turn.
Oh yeah, that is still on the card.
I mean, a 3 forward here from Fenrir, just tearing straight at Dengar and trying to get that range 1.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how that finishes off.
Maybe they're star-crossed lovers.
Maybe.
There goes Gonk.
There's Gonk putting the shield on. So
you said meet on their own terms, star-crossed lovers maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
See, I had my hair cut off. Me and Richard don't have the Battle of the Ponytails anymore. Something that me and Richard had going for a little while was...
It's not 3 shields, it's 1. So I will rectify that.
I'm going to just pick it up and move it.
That's kind of what I'm going for.
Range... Chris Media Head. I think that's range 3.
You've just been told.
That's the only thing when you kind of have like a...
Yeah, range 3, focus target
bird's
lock.
eye view.
Oh, no. So, auto thrusters, because you're out of arc. Remember that. Thank you. I'm terrible. I'm...
Mr.
So, that's
said he can't
blank,
make
blank.
It tonight.
Okay.
That's double blank, so shield and 2
Oh, he's conceded. I think Chris has realised if Dengar's not dead next turn. Yeah, next turn he is going to.
Would you like me
It's
to bring
still,
the
if
boys?
Dengar's got 1 hole left, that's a mutual destruction turn.
Would you like me to
Go
bring in
for
the
it.
boys?
Go for it.
they've both conceded.
I
Yes,
know they
please.
shook hands. I think Richard has won that.
Yeah, I haven't really seen
we'll go
many.
and retrieve the lads.
Okay, I haven't really seen many final salvo turns in terms of actually seeing it being used. But it's a nice way of breaking those old ties. I wouldn't mind it being there conditional, like, for example, if it's 100-100 draw, that only way to keep that in, because then it would force people to fly. But then you have the issue of, let's simultaneously fly off the board situation, I suppose. So, because